What is good, YouTube? Katana here, and today I got another build video for you guys. But before I go into it, I'm gonna say this: STAMDEN, Magden, and a lot of other classes nowadays play with a lot of max health, and we know why. It's because of all the the procs, the Markarth builds, the dot builds. You don't want to get bursted right off rip, and the best way to be more tanky is just to have more max health. If you're looking for a build video like that, this ain't it. I personally don't feel the need or urge to put a just immense amount of max health on my STAMDEN. I don't need it. For those of you that do, that's all up to you. I don't care if you do. I don't need it. I could click vigor enough to keep myself alive with the amount of max health I have. But I understand why people do it. Anyways, today, STAMDEN build, I'm going to let you guys know it is dual wield and sorting board. And open world, it is fantastic. Group play, it's fantastic. 1vx, it's fantastic. 1v1s, you'd have to tweak a few things here and there. It's pretty mediocre. If you go against something that's carried or aids, you might not beat it, unless the person is just If you face a pretty decent player with carries and aids on, I don't know if you should run this build. But anyways, my stats, I'm buffed on my front bar, and I'm an orc. As you can see, I have 17 into health, 47 into stam, and I'm using the warrior mundus. This could change depending on the food you choose to use, and on top of that, the critical resistances on my stat sheet could look different for you depending on like what traits you want to run and what you want to run in your CP. Fully buffed up. I'm going to include the pot with it as well. I'm just not going to have Balorg up. So right there, just with the pot, that is my that's my stats buffed, right? And tripod's got a buff, so it goes up 40%. So that's why we have such high stam recovery. I realized I wasn't doing that in my other videos where I was popping a pot, where most of the time that's going to be your recovery, especially if you have the alchemy passive, which I normally don't have on most of my guys. I don't even have alchemy on this guy, but I forget what it's called. It's medicinal use or something like that. And it allows you to use pots more often and makes them more effective and all that good stuff. But as for slottable items, you could use Artaeum or you could use Lavafoot. I use Lavafoot because it's cheaper, and honestly, I don't really care too much for the extra health recovery. It'd be nice, but I could deal without it. So I just save my Artaeums for different builds and things like that. But you can most definitely, if you feel like you need more healing, you could definitely just use Artaeum. Because as you can see, you already have a lot of stamina recovery. So I'm just going to show you guys with Artaeum what your stats would look like. You're probably going to have to change, you will most definitely have to change the max health and max stam, because the max stam is pretty low right here. But as you can see, it is better. It is better in terms of like, look at that health recovery, 1.2k. Come on, it's pretty nice. Anyways, sets wise, we on the back bar, we have Master Sorting Board, powered and sturdied. Now that is why I'm only using Pierce Armor and Resolving Vigor, because every time I click Pierce Armor, it's gonna heal me. Actually, I could just read it to you instead of just show you. So when you deal damage with puncture, you heal for 6,725 health and gain spell and physical resistance equal to the amount of healing or over healing done for 5 seconds. So basically, I'm in open world, I'm going dummy, boom, 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 and then I gotta heal. Oh my god. You know, puncture, boom. Your resistances are higher, and it heals you. So you can just keep puncturing and puncturing, and it's just always gonna heal you. But yeah, that's why I use that. That's what I was trying to say. Open world, I completely okay with surviving, because I'm gonna be roll dodging and things like that, and line of sighting, and just having resolving vigor and puncture as heals. I'm completely okay with. And most of the time when you see STAMDENs with way higher health, max health and stuff like that, it's most of the time they're using Arctic Blast, I think it's called. Yeah, Arctic Blast, which it scales off your max health to begin with, so that's why they use that. So I just don't use that. Anyways, front bar, we got New Moon. Truthfully, these would both probably be weapon damage enchantments, but completely up to you what you want as enchantments. If you don't know what New Moon is, it's just a good damage set overall. Then I got Balorg as the monster. Everything's impen with Eternal Vigor. And nope, I'm not using Markarth, all infused weapon damage jewelry. So again, you can make this build even better by throwing on Markarth and switching things around here and there. This is just very basic, something most people can get on the fly on full medium. It works great. You don't have to do vet DSA to get this. You could just do it on normal. And normal Dragonstar Arena is very easy. If you have like maybe a higher level friend, if you're low level, they could easily just solo that thing and just carry you through it. But anyways, for abilities, this is what I would use normally in open world. Pierce Armor. I'm not using Ransack because Ransack basically gives me the same thing as Ice Fortress. It gives me minor protection when I, press puncture. So that's why I don't use that, and I use Pierce Armor, and Pierce Armor gives more breach. So the reason why this is viable, this patch on a STAMDEN, is for the fact that on Beetles, they took off the breach. For the Stamorph, it doesn't have breach anymore. The Magmorph, I'm pretty sure, still has breach. Stamorph does not have breach anymore. So to fix that, puncture. Anyways, back on the back bar, Pierce Armor, Resolving Vigor, Ice Fortress, because it's the armor buff. Elude, you can switch that out for Shuffle if you want. I just roll dodge a lot, so speed plus, I don't really get immobilized like that. When I do get immobilized, I roll dodge, so I don't really care too much about the whole snare removal stuff. Bull Netch, and I use Healing Thicket for the fact that I don't have another back bar ultimate. That's the main reason. I mean, there's also like the passives here, like where is it? Increase your healing done with green balance abilities by 2% for each green balance ability slotted. So if I click my healing ult, it just has an extra little bit of healing and stuff. But other than that, there's no other reason. I just don't have another ultimate. If I had Temporal Guard, I'd probably put Temporal Guard, but there's that. I have DB as my ultimate on my front bar. Whirling Blades, I don't use the other one because this one is better for executing. I use Growing Swarm and Cutting Dive, 2 reasons. And 1, this applies minor vulnerability. So not only am I getting major and minor breach, I'm also getting minor vulnerability. And on top of that, in the Animal Companions skill line, go to the passives down here. Whoop, 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 whoop. Increase your damage done by 2% for each Animal Companion ability slotted. So if I truthfully gonna be 100% honest, if I could slot that Bull Netch on my front bar, if it was possible, I would have done that to get as much damage as possible. If I could have slot the Bear on my front bar for open worlds and still be effective, I would have done it. The reason why I have to have DB on the front bar, it's simple. It's too clunky if I had it on the back bar. It's not as effective, especially during lag and delays and things like that. It's just not effective. It's not going to work like that. So, again, that's the reason why I have Growing Swarm and so many Animal Companion abilities. And it's just a nice dot that just gets applied to all the enemies and stuff like that. And then we have Cutting Dive, which I could put people off balance and then able to CC them without even having to use Tactician. So this is great in one-on-one. This is great in open world in the sense that I could still even apply bleeds and just apply pressure from far away, even though I'm a melee ranged build. We got Bird of Prey for Minor Berserk, and if I really want to and I feel like, oh, I'm not fast enough with the loot on sometimes, which is a thing, like maybe someone isn't hitting you enough, or maybe you just want a little bit extra speed, you know, you just boop, and then you're gone. You're just gone. You're as fast as the wind, like a race car or something like that. I don't know. But anyways, then we got Beetles. Now, if you don't know what they changed to Beetles this patch, Beetles is fantastic. I mean, it is, the stand morph is ridiculous. So if you read it here, the initial one, you pop it, boom, it's normal. You know, you wait for the little countdown, boom, it comes out. Now there's another one coming, boom. You get 2 Beetles on one cast, and they're only seconds apart from each other. It is great. So you don't have to always be spamming Beetles. So before, you know, you'd always have to be like, oh no, I gotta reapply my Beetles. No, you don't have to do that now. You can just let it 1 go off and then 2 go off. Boom. It's great. But yeah, that's what they changed to Beetles. I like it. It's pretty decent. Anyways, last but not least, this is CP. Before I do that, if you wanted to duel and be more efficient in dueling with this, probably just slot bear on both bars and then, you know, summon that little Pumbaa, summon little Winnie the Pooh, and he'll just gnaw at your opponent's feet and stuff like that. He'll be tickling them and stuff, you know. But anyways, I wouldn't recommend that in open world because he'll die often and it'll be completely annoying to keep resummoning and stuff like that, so I wouldn't. Again, this is open world CP. If I was dueling, I would probably use a little bit something different. Like I wouldn't have so much into Sprinter, for example. But I'm going to just show you the open world CP first. So pause at any time. And yeah. You don't have to have this much into resistant if you're in full impen. I just do. I haven't changed it. I was too lazy. So for example, I would probably take out some of the stuff from resistant, put into quick recovery, or maybe into hardy or elemental defender, thick skinned. I don't know. I would just play around with it. Put it in a different spot. Now, if I was dueling, right, the part that would look different, it's not the blue or red trees, it would just be the green tree. So I wouldn't be sprinting in a duel. So I wouldn't have anything into sprint. I probably would take out a bashing focus too, because I mean, I'd bash here and there, but the chances of me bashing often isn't often at all. I'd probably take out as much as I have in Mooncalf, just because I always leave a lot into tenacity, because tenacity is a very slept on thing, CP location, or I don't know what you would call that, but it's very slept on in general. It helps you sustain very well, even if you have low stam recovery. And I would put all these points and to reduce the cost to block. Because if I have to block an ultimate or something like that, look, it's the perfect percentage. If I have to block an ultimate or something, boom, my block isn't going to cost as much. But that's what I would use for dueling, just if you guys wanted to know. Everything else, the blue tree and the red tree would all still be the same. Just the green tree would change. Well, that is the end of the video. And if you made it this far, thank you. If you just skipped around, also thank you. I'm going to show you guys with Balorg. It's not going to be a fully buffed Balorg, but it'll be a little bit. What my stats are fully buffed up. That is my front bar stats fully buffed up. And that's with Puncture active as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment if you're new to my channel. Subscribe. See you in the next one.